There are hundreds of nodes in n8n, but most people ever use like the 3 or 4 of those nodes. Today, I want to show you 5 nodes that make my workflow more reliable and efficient. Now, let me show you exactly those nodes and how to use them in your workflow. Let's dive in. Joined earlier. So here are the nodes that we use that can make your workflow. They can make or break your workflow. Now, these nodes have really helped me in my workflows in n8n. So one of these nodes is the error node, the error trigger node. Now, when your workflow fails, it triggers immediately. Now, I'm going to show you exactly these nodes that I'm talking about. First, we have the merge node, we have the wait node, we have the switch node, we have the error trigger node, we have the execute a sub workflow node. I'm going to tell you exactly how I use this node in my workflows and how they have helped me so far. So now let's dive in. First, we're going to talk about the merge node. The merge node combines 2 or more branches into one item. Let me show you how to use this node. So this node here, this is a merge node. So let's assume in your workflow, you want these items coming from different branches to work together instead of working apart. That is where the merge node comes in. For example, we have this workflow here. We have a branch and we have a branch B, branch A and a branch B here. Now, without this merge node here, this branch A is going to go ahead and work first and alone without this branch here. But let's say, for instance, now you want branch A to process first, then after branch B process, let's say if you have another branch C process, but you want them to work together. Let's say this one here is a research agent for pricing. This one here is a settlement agent, and another one is a trend agent. Now, at the end of all this research, you want to put all this together. You want to put them together and have AI look at all the research that's brought, that the pricing agent has brought, the resentment agent has brought, and the trend agent has brought. You want it to look at all that and process it together. That is where you use the merge node. So first, the pricing agent is going to go ahead and do its thing. The sentiment agent is going to go ahead and do its thing. Now, the final agent, the trend agent, is going to go ahead and do its thing. When it's all done, then they're all going to meet at this point here. Then this merge node now is now going to output it as one item. Instead of 3 separate items, it's going to output them as one item. That is how this merge node works. It is very helpful when you're creating workflow that requires it all the outputs to work together. That is when you use the merge node. And let me show you a real life example where I use this merge node. So this is a workflow I created in my previous videos, an AI competitor market research agent. Now, what this branch here is doing is that it is checking for price. It's going ahead to research for prices for a competitor, for a research agent. So it's going ahead to search for the pricing, the pricing structure. This one here is a sentiment agent, while this one here is a trend agent. By the time this one is done running, it's going to wait here. When this one is done running, it's going to wait here. When this one is done running, it's going to wait here. At the end of each process, then it's now going to go. It's this merge node is going to process it, going to merge it into one output. Then it's now going to send it to this our AI agent here. Now our AI agent is going to work with all 3 outputs. Now, without this merge node here, what this is going to do is that this one here is going to go ahead and go through. It's going to go through this here. This is going to process it alone. It's going to do everything here. Then when all this is done, then this will happen alone. This will happen to alone, which is not what we want. We want the AI to process all 3 items. So that's why we use this merge node here now. Send it to the AI processes it and send us one output. Now you can see how good that merge node is. That's why we use the merge node now. This can be very helpful in your workflow. Now we have the wait node. I love the wait node so much. This wait node here pauses execution on purpose to let a timing dependent logic work. So what we mean here is that, let's assume, for instance, now you started you want, let's say, every day at okay, let me use this. For example, let's go to the workflow first of all. So for example, you have a process, let's say a customer sends you have a chatbot, a WhatsApp chatbot, and a customer sends message. Your AI agent responds immediately, and the customer says, okay, they're going to buy tomorrow or next tomorrow or something like that, or they're going to send you something tomorrow. You have this workflow already set up. You're going to send it tomorrow. Now that's where the next wait node comes in. You can create a wait process that, okay, after tomorrow, then you can message the client or something like that. Or another example, another good example would be that For example, this is our process that we're using here. This is the wait node here. The something happens, like let's say a trigger, this is the schedule trigger here, something happens, you create a text here, you want to wait after 5 seconds before the next node here is going to activate. That's where you are in the wait node. You wait for a process, you pause the execution for a specific number of time. It could be for a day, it could be for a month, it could be for next year, just depending on the time you want it to wait. That's where the wait node comes in. So you can see here, when we open this wait node here, you can see here after a specific time interval, let's say this workflow now, once this works, it's going to work immediately. When it comes here, it's going to work. But when it gets to this wait node, it's going to pause for the specific amount of time you have set here. Now, this is set for 5 seconds. This entire workflow is going to wait for 5 seconds before anything is going to process in this workflow. So after 5 seconds, after about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it could be for days. So we have days here. It could be for days. Now, if you want to customize your time, you can actually customize it here. So after a specific, you can wait for after a specific day or year. So this way you can set it here too as well. So you can wait till 30, or let's say August, which is next month, that's tomorrow. You can wait till the 8th of August. That is until this time before our workflow process. And you can set the time here. So you can set it for 2 a.m. That is when you want this workflow to begin. So this workflow, what the wait node does is just pauses your execution to a specific time you want it to work. Or again, another example is when you're trying to avoid so much rate limit in your workflow. So when you're sending an API request, most of these API endpoints, they have something called a rate limit. So if your workflow is supposed to send like 1,000 that API, 1,000 items, most of those API endpoints are going to error out immediately. So if you don't want it to process those 1,000 items at once, that's where you can add a wait node there. So you can add like 15 or 5 seconds, so that when it processes one item, it's going to wait for 5 seconds. You're processing another item, it's going to wait for 5 seconds. Or you can set it in a way, in a loop node, where it can process, let's say, depending on what the API endpoint receives at a particular time. So some endpoints can be, okay, they receive 50 items per minute. Then you can set your workflow in a loop that, okay, it sends 50 items at once, then waits for a minute. After a minute, then it sends another 50 items. So the wait node is actually a very powerful node. It just pauses the entire workflow depending on the particular time interval you have set it for. Yes, so that is it for the wait node. We have another powerful node here, which is the switch node. This switch node is a very interesting node too as well. So this routes multiple paths for a single node. So let's go to our n8n again. So what this does here is that, let's say you have different paths where you want your agent to go through. You don't want it to, you have different conditions for different branch. So that's where the wait node comes in. So for instance, you have, for instance, for this our example now, we have a customer type. We have customer type equals to VIP. You can do customer type equals to individual regular. So customer type equals to regular. You can say customer type equals to equals to let's say free. Say free. Now you want this customer type to do different things. Let's say for VIP, they will get like some additional features to your services. Like VIP gets free snacks, free this, free that, and all those things. Regular gets only entrance, they don't get anything. And free, they just sit outside the tent, they don't do anything. Free does not have access to do anything. They just come to watch from the barricade or something. Now, that is where this route comes in. The route helps you pass those items into different branches. So in this route node now, we can pass it. Okay, customer type is equals to VIP. They go to this branch here. Now you do whatever you want to do in this branch here. Customer type equals to free, or we have new here. New, they do something here. This is what happens here. Customer type equals to returning. Then something happens for them here. So in this case here, we are using free regular. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to change this this condition here to free. We're going to change this other condition here to regular, so that it matches exactly what we have in our set node. So now, whenever the customer matches VIP, it goes to this branch here. Whenever the customer matches regular, it goes to this branch here. Whenever it's free, it comes to this branch here. Now that's what the route node does for it. It just routes the item according to the condition we set for it. This is a very powerful node too as well. So we have similar nodes in n8n that does this routing. So we have the if node, we have the if node too. But the if node, where the if node differs from the route node is the if node is a true or false. So unlike the switch node where we are able to set what we want, okay, for this condition, it goes to this branch. For this condition, it goes to this branch. For this other condition, it goes to this branch. And note, the condition can be more or less than this. So we have 3 conditions here. We can add as many route paths as we want. That's the good thing about this. But for the if node, once for the if node, we can't use this. We can't do this branching, this different branch here. It's either a true or false. So you can you can just put the customer type is equals to VIP. And once the customer is VIP, then it goes to the true part. Every other thing is going to go to the false part. So when you have multiple conditions you want to use like this, the best to use here is the route node. That's where the route node comes in. So the route node is a very good node too when you're trying to process multiple branch. So we have another very good branch node here, which we call the error node. Now, this is my favorite node in n8n. The reason I say this is my favorite node in n8n is that it catches workflow failures instead of letting the failure just go silently. Now, without this error trigger node, your workflow can fail and you will never know until you come back to n8n to actually check the cause of the failure in your n8n. So that's where this error trigger node comes in. So when you set up for every workflow, let's say you set up a workflow in n8n, you just have to set this once. You don't have to set it twice or 10 times or anything. You just have to set it once in your workflow. And whenever there's an error in your n8n workflow, it sends you a message in your email or your Slack or WhatsApp, whichever one you set it for. That's how good this is. So you just set it up as a trigger node, and once you set it, you turn it on. Once there's an error in your workflow, a message immediately comes to you in Slack or WhatsApp. So that's the fantastic thing about this error node. So always try to put this in your workflow. Maybe put this in your n8n workflow so that the errors in your workflow never goes unanswered. So you get the notification immediately it happens. So yes, that is the error. That's what the error node does. And you can find that just by clicking here is the trigger node, and you set that. So for every node that I have mentioned so far, all you need to add them is click on this and search for their name. So the switch node, you search for switch node, which is this here. So if you're looking for the weights node, you search for the weights node too as well. You find that here. And the first node which we mentioned, which is the merge node, you search here too as well. And you can find your merge node here too as well. Okay, so we have another node, which is the execute workflow node. So this workflow here calls another workflow inside another. So what it does is that you know those repetitive tasks you do in your workflow, you don't want to do something repetitively. That's where you set this. Or you want to clean your data. You don't want for so you want that let's say you have multiple workflow where you always have to normalize a text, or when you always have to like format data, specific data, so it has to be consistent. It has to receive a consistent kind of data. So that's kind of workflow where you have to clean or format like a text or a number. So you have multiple workflows where you have to format a number, and you don't want to for every of that workflow like have to format this number every single time. You can create a single workflow that's a sub workflow whereby another workflow formats this number for you, then send it back to you, then you can now use this subsequently in the workflows. That's what this sub workflow does for you. So this is a very good workflow where there's repetitive tasks, and you don't want to always do that repetitive task always. You don't want to have to do repetitive tasks always. That is where the sub workflow comes in. So this is the sub workflow here. So now we have a trigger. This is our manual trigger here. We have a messy phone number. The phone number comes in Turkey. It doesn't come in, let's say we are trying to get this number. Let me have like this plus your country code, but it doesn't come in like that. It comes in 070 or comes in 0, your own country number. And you want it to have this, your plus your country code number. And you have this particular challenge in so many workflows. So it doesn't make sense when you're just doing this for only one workflow, and you have to start creating a sub workflow. No. So it doesn't look like anything when you're doing it for just one flow, but imagine you have many workflow that does the same thing. Like you have to format the number. After formatting the number, it has to get the country where that particular number is coming from, and it has to do something else. Like this, there's a long process, and this is in so many workflows too as well. You have this challenge to in other workflows you're building. Let's say you're a chatbot agent or something. You want to create this for a business for your business. You want to do this as a business where you create chatbots for multiple businesses. So every single time you format a number, but instead of doing that in all your workflow, all you need to do is create a single workflow. This is it now. This is our single workflow. Now, this is our second workflow where that actually cleans the phone number for us. There's a second workflow that cleans it for us. Let's see, we have an example here now. So let's run this workflow now and see. Okay, so you see, it has given us, can you see what it did here? You see what it did here? So this here, this is the phone number we had for it here. This is the phone number. You see, it started with 08031. We can use this in a voice agent. We can use this in let's say if we're trying to call Zapier, want Zapier to make a call for us, we can't pass this number to Zapier. It's going to fail. So now what we are doing now is that we are now calling our sub. So you didn't see this work, but it actually worked. So this here sent it to this chat, this our executor workflow here. Now this code node now then processed that number for us. So that's node now cleaned it up for us. It cleaned it. It removed the 0 and added the +234 for us. Then now sent it back. So it sent it back to this. This is the parent workflow. This parent workflow actually called this. This then cleaned it up, then returned the response back for us. So if you see here, this here was sent directly here. So you don't, because we executed this manually, that is why you don't see the action come through here. What it did was that it sent the message to this one here and told it, okay, clean this phone number, and it's then sent it back to us. Then we have this number here cleaned for us, added the +234 for us, added the number. Now we can then pass this to our Zapier agent. We can then pass it to our agent. The agent can do anything you want for us here. So that is our node. I hope you love that. So to recap, so for a recap, our merge node here just merges different outputs, different branch of outputs into one item and sends it to whatever work we want to do with it, or it could just end the process. Now we have our wait node. So the wait node pauses the entire workflow. It pauses it until that time that we set for it has reached. Then it keeps working. While our route node routes different items based on the condition we'll set for it. And our error trigger node, it sends us an error and it immediately notifies us when an error has occurred in our workflow. Why the sub workflow, that's the sub trigger node, the executor sub workflow node, helps us reduce repetitive tasks in n8n. So yes, this is a workflow because it creates reliable. So those are nodes that actually help me execute and create effective and reliable workflows in n8n. So if you enjoyed watching this, like the video and please kindly like and comment in the video and subscribe to our channel. So my name is Neka, co-founder Orchestrix, and together with my co-founder Fike, we build AI automation and web products for businesses. And if you want us to create workflows for you in n8n, Make.com, Zapier, GoHighLevel, and so many more, the link is in our bio for you to build, for you to book a 15-minute consultation with us. And please kindly subscribe to our channel because we drop videos like this daily, and also we walk you through workflows that we create here in our channel. Please subscribe, and thank you very much for joining me today. Until next time, bye bye.